I'm seeing from our board that that market appears to be unchanged on the day. Very little activity. Is this a function perhaps of the closing, of course, of the year?
Yes, that is in part to do, has one or two things to do with the time of period we are in, that is the end year. But a couple of things as far as the shilling goes, we are seeing a lot of demand from importers as they rush to stock up the Christmas and festive period stocks. So we are seeing quite some demand coming in for the hard currencies, and the shilling is losing ground slightly. But looking forward, we also hope that there will be some supply coming in, especially as the year-end currency dealers look to close their books and close out those positions. And quite a number of them have started doing that in preparation for, of course, the close of the year.
Yeah, but I suppose the biggest story of the day, of course, has to be Kenyan cobble, down almost 10% on the day. This speculation abounding that perhaps Puma is walking away from that transaction. What do you know about it?
Well, the information on that particular count has been scanty at this point. We haven't gotten any information from Kenyan Kobil, neither have we seen anything come out of Puma Energy. But the speculation is rife on the market that Puma Energy intends to walk away from closing and rather acquiring the majority position from some of the top shareholders of Kenyan Kobil. So that has seen the stock come under significant pressure today. Even more important than that particular piece of news was actually the volumes that traded. They actually were very substantial as far as Kenyan Kobil is concerned, and that really actually is what given fuel to this particular rumor. Now, two issues of concern here. One is that the market regulator has not in any way stepped in as they did earlier in the year when the contrary was true, in that the market rumors of an acquisition came into the market. So at that point in time, the market regulator was very quick to jump in on board and in a move to sort of somewhat calm the market, actually issued a suspension on that particular stock. But at this point, we haven't seen anything on that particular move. And secondly, what's very surprising is that this really comes right on the back of the company losing that majority market share position, which was actually announced 2 weeks ago to Total. Now the Kenyan Kobil is second, at least as far as the Kenyan market is concerned. Yeah. So there are some issues of concern as far as Kenyan Kobil is concerned.
Now, of course, the funny thing out of this is that we do know that minority investors may not have exactly backed this deal. But now, with potentially Puma walking away, you've got the share price coming under pressure and value destruction for the minority shareholders. It's a no-win situation here.
Yes, the minority shareholders do seem to be on the losing end of this. Remember, there was the acquisition rumored target price of about 17 shillings. The market really never quite got there yet. It's been trading for a pretty long time between the 15 shilling and 15.50 mark. But over time, we've seen that erode, especially as that excitement has kind of withered over time, and also fueled by the half-year loss that the company announced. Yeah. So those particular issues don't seem to have eagered too well for Kenyan Kobil, but keep in mind that it is not only a Kenyan player. In Kenya, things may seem to be a bit hot for them, but they're a Pan-African player. They have operations pretty much across sub-Saharan Africa. Yeah. So the issue at play here is not only for the Kenyan geography, it really is a Pan-African play, and that is what every investor out there is looking at. And really, I think there still is a lot of value as far as Kenyan Kobil is concerned. A bit of stock punishment today, but I think looking forward, there still would be some value for getting into Kenyan Kobil for the contrarian investor.
Absolutely. Let's see how that story pans out. Let's talk some beer now. Now, according to a report coming out of Imara, they are talking about the average beer consumption in East Africa being lower than the other regions. So your Southern Africa and your Western Africa. Now, which suggests, of course, that the big players should be looking at Eastern Africa. But let me just mention something that I noticed when I came to Nairobi some time back. The fact that you guys drink warm beer. Isn't that a factor perhaps behind the low beer sales?
Well, every market has unique tastes. So I wouldn't attribute that to the cold and hot beer wars. So I don't think that has anything to do with it. Nonetheless, sticking to on the beer side of the market, we have seen a lot of international players really try to come in and set up a foothold into the Kenyan market.
Yeah.
And we have them coming in a very independent positions. We have Heineken, which is now very big on the market. And all these market players, these international players, are really trying to scrape off substantial chunks out of East African breweries' market dominant position. Keep in mind that, to be honest, the bulk of the beer purchases, actually, let me call it alcohol purchases, actually are not from the regulated aspect. So we have a lot of illegal brews coming into the market, and what the real market share that we're looking at is for the higher end of the market, and that's where we have a lot of appeal for the Heinekens, for the brandies and so on. So that's the market share that really is at play here. And the big multinationals are really in position to come in to the market and give our local East African breweries quite some competition. And we even have Castle breweries intending to come back into the market in a very strong way. We saw them exit the market locally about 10 years back. So this is really going to renew a lot of beverage wars, which on the soft drink side, we've seen Pepsi Cola come in and really give Coca-Cola quite some competition.
Absolutely, and we always welcome competition, particularly when it's in beer wars. But before you go, one question that we've been asking all the brokers we've been talking about is, of course, 2013. I've had figures ranging from just above the teens to those rising as high as 30%. Your forecast for the Kenyan equity market for 2013?
I think for the first quarter of 2013, the markets will at best trade flat. But because of the political environment, I expect them to actually slide down a bit. But from the second half of the year, I expect that to rise substantially, possibly in the mid-20s as far as the growth is concerned.